Okay, guys. So you know how much I love you of because I had some problems with the streamings with the internet, my house internet. So I'm using this from my internet bundle. So you know how much I love you. Wait, I'm sending this to Bomika so she can spread the word, and you may follow me. I'm waiting for the first one. Please, if you can see me and you hear my voice loud, please comment anything so I can start. Anyways, the video will remain on the YouTube for further notice. You can review it over and over again. But the first person who sees this, please comment anything in the chat room so I can see that you can see me and you can hear me loud and clear. Okay. Anyways, I will start because this live will remain on YouTube anyways, and I can edit it later. If you have any questions, you can say in the comments or in the live streaming chat. You can comment down below. Today, inshallah, we're discussing the lesson about South Asia history. As you know that South Asia, it was built on some principles about the Hinduism and Buddhism, and these principles may be summed up in four main steps: that life is full of suffering. Suffering comes from selfish desire, and selfish desires can be conquered only by stopping the suffering. Hi. Okay, yes. So the people can know me then. Mr. Will you upload the PowerPoint? Yes, I have uploaded the PowerPoint about this part, and this is the explanation part. Okay, so we have said that South Asia, thank you. We have said that South Asia had some rulers, etc. We have discussed that in classroom. Now we are reaching the beginning of the 16th century. The beginning of the 16th century marked South Asia very, very importantly. Why? Because it marked the influence of the British Empire. The British Empire were involved in the region of South Asia for some important reasons. What are these important reasons? For the trade, for the temper, for importing and exporting its resources. So it had a concern, special concern in the area of South Asia. And as you know, guys, and as you have studied before, the British were the first to make Asia, and especially India, that were given exclusive trading rights. Exclusive trading rights, which means that the British goods can enter and exit without taxes, being protected by the British Navy, and so on. As the British found the opportunity in India and in South Asia, especially after a rebellion that happened in India in 1857, they found it a chance to make what's called the white colonization. They have colonized India India and most of South Asia region is now under their control. They control it in the terms of trade, in the terms of military protection, in the terms of I have told them how to open it on the group. Thank you, Bonk. Okay, for you now who are I am saying that the British looked in the eye of greed. They wanted to occupy benefits that they could get from South Asia. And the British government took control of South Asia, and India, by this time became a British colony. Though that the British built railways, schools, ports, but any occupying nation to another nation will not build these facilities, schools, railways, and medical equipments will not build these facilities for the benefit of the Indians to ease the transport of their goods between the countries and between the region of South Asia. They have built school for Indians, yes, but to graduate secretaries and people who can work in office jobs to service the British Empire and the British colonization of India in general, in particular, and South Asia in general. Mr. Mohamed, after we finish this video, will be on the channel or not? Yes, Sama, this video will be on the channel. Any questions about the part that I'm explaining? So, as we have been saying that South Asia, any occupying nation like the British, when they build railways, when they build schools, when they build hospitals, they build it for their own benefit. They want to ease it for themselves. They want to ease it for themselves and to have more control and more grasp over the region of South Asia. Though the British did not give Indians the right, the first movement towards the British, Indians denying that the British existence in their lands, they have encountered that by a term that is called boycotting. Boycotting means stop buying any goods that the British Empire produce. For example, if I want to tell you that Shipsy, I am boycotting Shipsy or I'm boycotting KFC because KFC is supporting this country or KFC is supporting that country. So that's what the Indians do. In the beginning, they have boycotted all the British goods in hopes that the British might leave and might lose interest in their occupying of the region. Second movement that happened in the early 19th, it was led by Mr. is boycotting only related to the British. No, it's a universal term. For example, here we want to say we are boycotting any goods that is related to the occupying state of Palestine. We are boycotting any goods that supports the proclaimed state of Israel. That's a general term, but the Indians were one of the first people who used it to boycott the goods that the British give them. Then we move to the part where Mahatma Gandhi comes. Gandhi is a person, ordinary person from India. Mr. I didn't understand what is boycotting. Can you explain it again, please? Sure. Okay. Boycotting, for example, this pen, example to Algeria. But now Egypt and Algeria, they have certain problems. So the people in Algeria are saying, okay, we will not buy this pen again. We will not buy this pen because we are boycotting Egypt. We don't want any goods. We don't want to buy anything from Egypt, which causes a huge problem for the economy. if you are not buying Mahatma Gandhi is, Mahatma Gandhi is an ordinary person from India who believed that India has the strength and power to become an independent country, and India can be a superpower and and can be totally away from the British Empire. So Mahatma Gandhi made what is called the civil disobedience. The civil disobedience. Anyone fighting an occupation in his nation where naturally bear arms. For example, there is a foreign army in my country. Did not happen with India. This did not happen with civil disobedience. Mahatma Gandhi wanted to make a revolution against the British, but with no blood whatsoever. We will not hold arms, we will not bear arms, we will not attack the British encampments. No one will work at the British, no one will help British, no one will give any services whatsoever to the British, which led to a huge collapse in the British supplies. For example, no one is selling them food, no one is selling them clothes, no one is selling them any services of transport or anything. They found themselves isolated and in this position where they cannot move freely, they cannot have proper food, we cannot buy anything. They found themselves, it's very hard for them to continue in India, which is led actually to a huge success that the civil disobedience of Mahatma Gandhi worked, and India gained its independence. And finally, the British left South Asia in 1947. So, as any colonizer do before leaving a country, they want to make sure that this country or this region will not be a superpower, will not stand again. So the region of South Asia forming in the past from what's now called Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh were actually these three countries were one country. This one country was divided by the British into two countries, India and Pakistan, and East Pakistan, that is Bangladesh. It was based on a racial discrimination, which means, okay, so India, home for Hindus, Pakistan, home for Muslims. This created tension between the two countries because they have different aspects, they have different ideologies, they have different mindsets. This was by the British doing, by the colonizer doing. We want them to be in constant state of war. So these countries with different ideologies, what we are saying that in the case of war between these countries, they had some conflicts over the borders, but in the case between these two countries, it will be catastrophic. Why? Because both of these countries do have weapons of mass destructions. Both of these countries do have nuclear weapons, which can have a devastating effect on the humans and the life in the region. So this concludes the part of the modern life of South Asia. Now I'm reading your comments. Okay, so let's start with Sama. Mister, we have many dates in the book. Do we have to know them all? Not actually many dates, but focus on the dates that is concerning the revolution in India and Mahatma Gandhi. Nano Midano, I guess this is Hana Yasser. Mister in the book says that Muhadras K. Gandhi, which name? Jana, Mister, we have a quiz on this, and when? Well, depending on the online questions, that of course no one will monitor you. So I will depend on your thinking and analysis of the topic and answering. So in this period, never worry about the quizzes. Mr. in the book says that Gandhi, so which do we go by? This is the same question. As I said, go by Gandhi or Mahatma Gandhi. I hope that this streaming is beneficial. Miss, you will send us a PowerPoint. Well, you have a PowerPoint for this part. I still have a small part to send you, but mainly this streaming, this video, you have explained the rest of the lesson. So this marks the conclusion of modern history of South Asia. Mr. Can you say again, cause the internet is horribly sorry. You can check that again. And I would like to thank you guys for your patience with me to go on the live. Next time, inshallah, we go on a live. I promise you, I will announce that earlier. And to know that I love you to the max, I'm doing this live from my bundle. Please recharge on my phone. Any revision video. This is going to be considered your revision video. Thank you all. Thank you. Love you. And stay home. Stay safe. Thank you. Grade 8. Big love.